How is the Browder family today?
I think just like everyone else, they're in complete shock over what happened. Words really can't express the sadness, the sadness that I witnessed in that home on Saturday night. You know, especially from his mother and his brothers, who he's very close with.
I mean, one of the things that I think many of us experienced, myself included, was not so much surprise at suicide per se, but the timing. You know,
Right.
there was a sense that we were out of the woods. You know, he's home. You know, what was going on in Khalif's life, and how does that sort of contrast maybe what happened this past weekend?
Mark, it's hard to say. You know, I'm not a psychiatrist at the end of the day, and you know, I always did my best to keep an eye out for him.
Yeah.
You know, he trusted me, and he knew I was looking out for him. And this time, I didn't see it coming. I think it was probably a combination of things. Of course, as we've discussed ad nauseum, the torture, the solitary, everything they'd gone through, that had always affected him. He lived every day with a certain degree of sadness. But I think with school being over, that just gave him a little bit more free time, perhaps. When he was involved, he was doing better. When he was in school and occupied, so I think that may have caused an issue. And you know, he had been going through depositions. You know, the city had dragged us through depositions. And it's not like when we come on your show. Here's the distinction. He came on your show and he talked about suicide.
Right.
But when he left, he had support from people who watched your show.
Yeah.
And encouragement and love. But when he goes through these depositions, he's cross-examined about these suicide attempts, almost as if the city doesn't believe that he actually tried to do this. Cynical.
Yeah.
And it's discouraging and it's difficult. And that was actually the last day that I saw him. That was May 22nd.
They also put him in situations where other inmates would beat him. You know.
Right, absolutely.
You know, I mean, it's stunning to many people. After they saw the HuffPost Live interview and then your return a few weeks ago, people were literally stunned that this could happen in an American prison. It looked like third world conditions.
Yeah, it's shocking. It's shocking. I mean, I'm running out of adjectives, to be honest with you. And it's disheartening to be here today. To see that, you know, to be an attorney, to be in this profession, to have been on both sides as a prosecutor and as a defense attorney. And I've seen injustice in the courts. And I've seen injustice done by police officers in other cases, but the extent of the injustice here, it's a travesty of justice. And you know what? What's so sad, and you know what hurts the most? This kid could have been alive right now. He should have been alive.
He
shouldn't be gone. He didn't deserve that.
Yesterday, I was very upset when this happened. In fact,
you called me.
Yeah, I called you. You know, I was.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no, man. I took it very personally. Khalif was a good kid, and I don't remember every person I interviewed with such detail, but there was something about him in particular that stuck with me. There was an earnestness about him, a sincerity about him.
Absolutely.
Even as he navigated so much hard stuff in life, he still wanted to do well, and he wanted to, and be good and be happy. And I was really hoping that he was getting there. And the thing that I said is he may have committed suicide, but and I'm only speaking for myself here, I truly believe the state killed him on so many levels. And I'm not asking you to make a legal claim, but is there any doubt that what happened in this unjust incarceration led to him being dead today?
No doubt whatsoever. Everything, his experience, that 3-year experience, that time in solitary confinement was the direct cause of this. Not even just this last final act of his, but everything he's gone through the last 2 years. Yeah. He suffered the last 2 years, suffered, maybe with glimpses of hope here and there. But that young man was suffering all the time, you know, and he just couldn't overcome it. He could not overcome those nightmares.
What does justice look like for him now with what we have left?
It certainly won't be the same without him.
Yeah.
But at this point, we're going to move forward with his family. We've spoken about this, and they'll basically inherit the lawsuit on his behalf, his estate. And we'll just continue to fight.
Yeah.
And continue this quest for justice, Mark. Khalif wouldn't have it any other way.
Yeah.
And I think there's so much outrage in America it has to go that. I mean, we have no choice.
Yeah.
You know, we just have to continue to put our best foot forward, despite what just happened to him.
I can see in your face, I can hear in your voice that this isn't just business for you. This was very personal, and
Absolutely.
And I'm sorry.
He wasn't just my client, Mark. He was like my little brother of sorts.